What's going on, everybody? This is Brian Mazique, aka Unique Mazique, the hardest working man in sports and gaming. And we got to talk more boxing. We're going to talk more Deontay Wilder. It seems like every single day, somebody different comes out, has either a take, they're offering to assist Wilder in this rematch, which to me kind of tells you a lot. It tells you that people have stepped back and they've watched what happened, and they feel and obviously see that Deontay may or may not be getting what he really needs from his corner people to really be able to beat a truly elite heavyweight like Tyson Fury, like Anthony Joshua, even though I still think I would favor Deontay to knock out Anthony Joshua without anything additional added to his skill set. I think from a stylistic matchup, I just think that's a fight that he can win easily. I think he probably knocks AJ out. But the Tyson Fury thing, I think everybody kind of senses that one's a little bit different. And so most recently, James Buddy McGirt has offered to help. Now, you guys saw the video that I did about George Foreman offering to help. And with all due respect to George, I didn't take that one quite as seriously as I take this one. To me, George was just a older legend fighter saying, hey, I like that kid. I want to help him. And I'm quite sure he was sincere about it. But George doesn't have like the training background. That's a different story with James Buddy McGirt. And I'm going to get into it. But I'm going to first show the quotes. This came from Boxing Scene, which where he was actually talking to Sky Sports. But Boxing Scene is where I saw the Buddy McGirt quotes. And it's interesting. And I'm going to tell you the background of why I feel this is more valid from Buddy in a second. But let's look at the quotes first. He says, he just needs minor adjustments, nothing major. That's what McGirt told Sky Sports. He says, everybody is making a big thing, like he has to make these big major changes. No, just little minor changes. What he has been doing has been working for him so far. I think he got away from a lot of basic stuff. I'm not going to say too much wrong. I just want to say relying on the power too much. You got to set it up. Some people will give it to you to knock them out. Some people you got to set them up. It's called the overlay for the underplay. I just think he has the potential to beat Fury. I don't want to say knockout, but I believe he has the potential to beat him. Like I say, if he makes little minor adjustments, I think he can win it. I don't know what was wrong. There's only two people that know what was wrong with him that night. That's him and God. But he definitely wasn't himself. He has enough time, but the question is, mentally, will he be ready? So that jumps out at me for a lot of reasons. First and foremost, I've had the opportunity to speak to Buddy McGirt on a couple different occasions. Long face-to-face conversation I had with him in Los Angeles. We were there for a fight. That's actually where I did the interview with Tyson Fury at Tyson Ranch. And it was just there was a lot of people there. Terence Crawford, Amir Imam, a lot of people. Buddy was part of the meeting that was going on there. That was his first real meeting with Amir Imam, and that was when he really came in as Amir Imam's trainer. Moving forward, Amir Imam is managed by fellow fight guy Peter Kahn, amongst some other fighters that he manages as well. So we have a pretty solid connection with Buddy McGirt. Have had an opportunity to see him game plan and come up with strategies for fighters to have their best opportunity to defeat solid opponents. Buddy trained Sergey Kovalev ahead of the Canelo Alvarez fight. And I'm going to flat tell you, Sergey Kovalev was fighting as well as could be expected, considering what he brought into the fight from a physical standpoint. Canelo's a better fighter. Canelo's younger. And Canelo doesn't have some of these personal vices that Sergey Kovalev has with some of these other issues that are going on. If you ask me if all things are different, maybe this is 3 or 4 years or earlier, I should say, and Kovalev employs that same type of game plan that he did against Canelo, maybe we see a different result. I'm telling you that when it comes to game planning, Buddy McGirt, Hall of Famer, former multiple-time world champion, has the ability to come up with game plans that allow people to put themselves in the best position to win. All of that said, one other thing that really jumped out at me about what Buddy was saying is that unlike most other people, as he mentioned, he's not talking about trying to reinvent the wheel with Deontay Wilder, which I think is a really an unrealistic approach. Wilder does have these just fantastic weapons that he can go to that no one else in the world almost has. Nobody else in the world has that right hand. He's 6'7", has extremely long arms, even though I think Fury's size and length and just overall mass gave him a problem, especially here in this rematch. But he has these gifts, and there's just, it maybe is some slight tweaks that McGirt can show him and can get him back into, from a basic standpoint. I definitely think, as I mentioned before, his style of evasion when an opponent is coming forward to him, just the leaning straight back, I think is just a very bad look for him overall. It does not give him any sort of leverage, any sort of balance to counter. He's just a sitting duck, and his head is still on the center line. I'm almost 100% positive that if he spends a training camp with Buddy McGirt, that won't be happening moving forward. At least that won't be what they've worked on. Whether or not Wilder reverts to that in the ring is something different. That's the thing about a trainer. A trainer can only give you the information, and there's a limitation based off of the physical skills that the fighter has, and then there's a potential limitation based on how much they retain and how much they are willing to employ those tactics and strategies. One thing I know is that of all of the trainers who have publicly expressed an interest to help Deontay Wilder in a third fight with Tyson Fury, I think Buddy McGirt is the best match. Buddy McGirt was a master boxer, great usages of space and just distance overall. And I think that's a really important aspect of the Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury fight. This third fight, space, judging distance is very important, especially against a guy who moves like Fury. Deontay has to get things down to the basics, pick his shots, and get an opportunity. I'm not saying he's going to win. I still, honestly, I'm going to be honest, even with Buddy there, I still, if you ask me, if you press me who to pick, I would still say Tyson Fury probably wins that third fight. But if Deontay Wilder has gone through an entire training camp with Buddy McGirt and he has committed, my prediction and my confidence in that prediction in Fury will not be as high as it would be if JD's and Mark Breland are still his trainers. If I'm being totally honest, it's Jay who is the one that worries me the more than Breland. I know where Breland has been. I know his understanding of the sport. I know what kind of fighter he was. Even though he was a welterweight, he was tall, long, and lean, very similar to Wilder. He did not have the punch that Wilder had, even trimmed down to the welterweight division, but I know where he's been. Jay, even when there's a conversation or a breakdown of what's going on, Jay is more in awe of Deontay Wilder's physical gifts than he is informational and offering instruction. It almost appears as though I can't speak definitively about this because I haven't ever been in their training camps, but it almost appears as though he's so enamored and so, is so just in admiration of Deontay's physical gifts that may be one of the biggest reasons why some of the technical aspects haven't taken the steps that they should have taken. So I don't know for a fact. That's just a theory. That's just a concept that has crossed my mind as I observe. But I can tell you for sure, Buddy won't be in awe, and Buddy will not allow that not to have him instruct and strategize for a potential third fight. Haven't heard anything about that coming to fruition. Trainers throw their hat in the ring a lot of times when they think there's a fighter and there's a potential opening. Buddy has a lot going on already with a lot of fighters that he's training. But that one is one I wouldn't blame him if he kind of stopped everything he was doing and made sure that he was available for that opportunity. So I appreciate you watching as always. God bless and peace.